the most.
Sorry about the delay there. Good evening, everybody. How are we all? Are we all well? Hope you're all keeping healthy at the moment. Is it day 43 of lockdown, or does it just feel like that at the moment? I'm sure you're all managing. We're looking forward to a great evening tonight. We've got lots lined up for you. Please do make sure you have your pens and papers ready as we're going through. But as usual, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be responsible this evening for going through the recognition and a few other bits and bobs. So just bear with me 1 second while we bring that up. Okay. So to start with, we always do recognition for how well people have been doing across the month. And so March 2020, and it has been a long month, but wow, we can't believe some of the figures that are actually on here at the moment for people who have been really on it and recruiting all the way through March. We've got with a massive 5, and that'll give you some idea of how good this has actually been, that we're starting with 5 people that have been introduced either as a wholesale customer or wellness advocates this month. Congratulations to Gamer Mensply, Magdalena Stein, Ronel Thangamuthu, Tanya Just, Alison Thomas, Neil Young, and Annette Ahido. Also, we have with a massive 7 people on, our very own Lisa Burke, who's had a fantastic month for recruitment. But having even a better month is Saskia Bill and Michael Snyder. Absolutely brilliant work there, 8 people on. And top of the shop so far in March is Vicky Gotham. So well done to you, Vicky. Now, we've also obviously got some updates. There's plenty of things happening at the moment. For those of you that aren't aware, on the doTERRA Europe site, there is a COVID-19 shipping update. Now, that depends where you live, of course. Well, wherever you live, always worth bearing in mind and checking there, particularly if you've got teammates that are obviously international as well, or customers that are international. So make sure you do check there to see what's going on. And also, of course, even though it's just the last day, we've only got up until midnight tomorrow night. We've got the fantastic 50/50 promotion that's still on. And this is if you, as long as you bring somebody in who places a 100 PV order anytime between the 1st to the 31st of March, you will get 50 PV to spend on whatever you like. This will be given to you in April, or they will get it as well. Now, it's certainly worth letting people know that's the case. On the last day, people often do act on these things. So if you've got anybody that's sort of thinking about it, do let them know. Obviously, it's the last day up until midnight tomorrow night. Now, we did mention this last week, but certainly worth mentioning again. This one goes through all the way towards the end of April. Obviously, the spring tours haven't happened in the physical sense. There's a lot going on online, but the tour kits are available. And there's a spring exclusive kit as well that's here, which has got the eucalyptus, is it lemon eucalyptus? Yes. The balanced citrus bliss and the tamer blend as well. And that's a brilliant price of just $28.75 excluding the VAT. And also we've got the spring aromatics diffuse kit as well, and this is available for a period of time for a fantastic price, £110.96. Okay, you'll find all the details of exactly what oils are in there online. £110.96 excluding the VAT, but an amazing price if you wish to use this as an enrolment kit. Okay, all the way up until the 30th of April, you can use that at just an extra £9 on top of that, where normally, of course, it would be an extra £20 plus that as well. So that's a brilliant, brilliant offer to make sure you take advantage of. Of course, we've got our online classes this week. They're available to everybody in certainly the doTERRA Elite Club and everybody that's in the Very Essence group as well. Tomorrow evening at 7 p.m, Thursday the 2nd of April at 11 a.m, and Saturday the 4th of April at midday. These are all obviously times for the UK and Ireland, GMT, and you just literally go to learntheessentials.info. So pass that on to any of your prospects, and they can log in anytime from 20 minutes before the event. Now, this is something a little bit different this week as well. Many of you will be aware that the doTERRA Essential Oils Specialist classification or qualification, even certification is the right word, has been advertised and available for a while. And it is only available until tomorrow at this special price of £58.80, so it's about £49, something like that. And also, if you complete this if you complete it by the 30th of June, you'll also get an extra 50 product points. Okay, that's around about £40 pounds, something like that, that you can spend on any products that you choose. Now, we have got with us this evening one lady who's just taken this and completed it. So, are you there, Kim? I believe you should be on with us this evening.
I'm here. I'm here. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
Doing well. Locked at home, but doing well.
So, how long did it take you to complete it?
How long? Well, I'm doing a half hour in the evening, so let's say 2 weeks.
2 weeks, a half an hour time, so that's not too bad at all, is it? So, tell us a little bit about it. Would you certainly recommend this?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, over the last couple of years, we learned a lot, and I'm sure new people learn a lot, but people that are in doTERRA for longer obviously learn as they go as well. But I found, and I'm quite the reader, so I read a lot, but I found a lot of new information in here, which is really, really helpful. And do you want me to go a little bit on the contents, a little bit what it's about?
Yeah, feel free.
Yeah, okay, brilliant. Well, first of all, you get a lovely PDF file of 110 pages, so you can print it out. I'm not sure if you can see it.
Let me stop sharing so you can do this. Bear with us.
Oh, it's just paperwork. It doesn't really matter.
We can see it now anyway. We can see you.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So yeah, it's 110 pages. So obviously you always have it, and you can log back into the system lifelong. So that's great as well. So you have lots of different chapters, and it's about what are essential oils, but not in the way that you would expect, as in essential oils are volatile compounds, but it goes deeper than that. So you actually learn where did it come from, what's the history, and more into detail about the distillation process, the expression, of course, the cold pressed expression, but also other extraction methods as well. And then you can compare them, and they even show you what the difference is if you use an oil one way or the other, and how it impacts the chemistry of an oil. So that's super interesting to see, and you can also learn that why doTERRA chose a certain form. So that's brilliant, and it goes. The chemistry of the oils is a little bit 101, but quite heavy, because you all have the difficult words. But other than that, I love the chemistry of the oils, and the molecules of the oils and the chemotypes. It goes into that very deeply, and yet only touching the surface of it, because we know it goes way deeper than that. But I loved learning about that. What else have I put on my little...
How do they do the testing? Is that just done online? You tell me.
Yeah, it's just you log into an online system of theirs, and you get obviously the PDF file on screen, but you also get per chapter a video. So for me, I'm Dutch, so I like to read and listen at the same time. So it sits better. The memory is better. So it does that both on paper, but also spoken. And the lady who does it is not a boring type either. So she really tells it in a lovely way. So yes, that's really, really great.
So you highly recommend it. I would certainly, you know, from what I've heard, I think we may even do that ourselves. So you sort of sold me on it as well. I think it's a great thing as well to put, I think, you know, to say there's nothing wrong with when you're signing any of your letters or anything like that, or any of your emails that you may be sending off, to put doTERRA Essential Oil Specialist underneath.
To be honest, even that certificate to show the world that you have a certificate gives you a little bit more name, a little bit professional. I don't know. I just feel nice to know that I have a certificate to actually prove that I know a little bit. Does it make sense?
No, I get that. I get that. So certainly in these times, it's a brilliant thing to do, isn't it? You know that you know, as well as many of the other things that Lisa's going to be talking about, and we've all spoken about, as well as a lot of the online activities. It's great where people, you know, maybe have had enough time of what you know, maybe we're a little bit Netflix out. You know, there's going to be a lot better, isn't it, for your business?
I totally enjoy all the online courses that doTERRA does now as well on the Facebook pages. You know, and can you hear me properly?
Yeah, say that once more. It just broke out.
Okay. No, that doTERRA, especially in the UK, you know, that they actually bring videos out, and if you want, you can watch and learn about doTERRA day in and day out, it seems like. So it's really, really awesome that they do that.
Excellent. Yeah, that's fantastic. Well, thank you so much for coming on and explaining a little bit about it. And if you want to press mute on there as well, Kim, that's absolutely brilliant. Really appreciate that. So yes, there'll be details in Lisa's group, our group as well, if you certainly want to go on there and book on for that. So I'll make sure on our group that that's on there this evening as well. So without further ado, I will pass you over to Lisa, who will look after the rest of the evening.
Brilliant. Thank you, Andy. Can you all hear me okay?
It's all good.
Thank you for that, and congratulations, Kim, on being, I think you probably are one of the first. I'm sure you've got off there really off to a quick start. I just asked actually in the group, is anybody else registered? Anybody else has completed it? But I don't think anyone has on the group yet. So well done for that. Okay, so before I go into the training, you probably all saw on the group while that was going on, Gemma popped on, so excited, so I've just got to tell you something. So she's no pressure there. She's put me under pressure by sending me a couple of photographs. So if you saw me in the box sort of looking down, looking like I was distracted, it was because I've just had to put a couple of photographs into my presentation. So because she is so excited, haven't heard of this excited in a little while. So Gemma, go on, share it with me while I share my presentation.
Hello everyone. I do apologise. I have got my pyjamas on. I am in bed. I was expecting to go onto the call and have my video not showing anything. so I wasn't sort of ready for this, but I've just been on my group chat, and one of my close friends, she works on the Disney ward at the General Hospital in Northampton here, and she looks after very, very poorly babies. And so obviously with everything going on, she has to take extra care, washing her hands, you know, the norm, what we're all doing. I'm sure everyone has cracked hands. Imagine that times 10. So she messaged me yesterday and just said, Gemma, my hands are in bits. I just don't know how many more times I can put plastic gloves on and wash my hands. Can you give me something? So I said, of course, I'll come over straight away in the morning. So I went over this morning, just before lunchtime, and I gave her a bottle of coconut oil, and I gave her, I think, half a bottle of lavender, and I didn't mix it because I said to her, look, I want you to be able to, you know, you do night shifts, use that in your water as well and everything else. So she was, oh my god, yeah. Anyway, so she sent me so Mum's going to put up the photos now. She sent me some befores yesterday, and then she's just sent me some afters. This isn't even,
can you see the before? Can you see the before on the screen?
Yeah, they're up. So that's the before. That was last night, and this is what it looks like now. So what, 5 hours, 6 hours of just massaging coconut oil and lavender, sort of back to basics. And she just texts me saying, I cannot believe my hands. I'm so impressed. You're a lifesaver. So something that seems so small to us, you know, just having lavender in the cupboard, everyone that does doTERRA or has been introduced to doTERRA, most people have lavender out of anything else, has completely helped her. So I think she's probably going to be going into work tomorrow and telling all of her nurses and everyone else what a miracle it has been.
Brilliant. Yeah, so does she
Very
work
empowering.
It is very empowering. Does she work in Northampton Hospital?
Yeah, the Disney ward in Northampton. She works with the really poorly babies.
Yeah, because I had a conversation with actually she's one of your friends as well, I think, today, that works in the critical section, critical intensive care. ICU at Northampton Hospital today, and we're going to arrange to get oils for all the nurses there. So she's spoken to her matron, and they all want the oils because they're just obviously under so much stress right now. So so that's good. So thanks for spreading the word, and thanks for sharing, Gemma.
So yeah, if anyone else has any nurses that they know, I think they would really appreciate a little bit of coconut oil and some lavender. It goes a long way.
There's just a message on here just asking how much lavender did she use to get that result?
So because I didn't put it together, I didn't mix it. You can obviously give her a rollable, you can mix it up for her. But like I say, because I know she works nights, I wanted her to have the lavender to put in some water or to put on her pulse points as well. But I just told her to put enough oil to go around her hands, and then 1 to 2 drops max, as we always say.
The fractionated coconut just rubbing on her hands, like rubbing a hand cream in, and then just a couple of drops of lavender on top of that.
Absolutely. But yeah, if you wanted to make up a rollable for anyone, you can do the standard 3/4. I usually do like 3/4 coconut oil and then about 10 drops of lavender. As most people know, lavender's probably the least harmful. What's the word? The least you should be the least sensitive to lavender. So 10 drops with a 3/4. What are the rollables generally come in? Are they 15 ml?
No, the rollables are 10 ml.
10 ml, yeah. So I usually use about 10 drops, if you think that sounds about right as well. So if you wanted to make one of that.
Brilliant. Thank you for sharing that.
All right. See you soon, everyone.
Bye. Okay, so they were the before and afters. I've just been asked to pop them up. Okay. So thank you, Deborah Williams, for putting this on Facebook earlier. Struck a chord with me, so I borrowed it. I hope you don't mind, for the presentation tonight. I know it feels like we have we're sort of stuck at home and probably at times feel a little bit sorry for ourselves, but this sort of really hit home to me. We're not stuck at home, we're blessed to have a home, and I think there is a lot that we can be doing with this time to make this a positive time in our life rather than one that has to be doom and gloom. It can be so depressing, can't it? Every time we turn on the news, all we're hearing is negatives. And I think this is a great environment to come on this call this evening. I do want to make tonight a little bit interactive if I can, because I think more than ever we need to socialise. We're not socialising face to face, so at least if we can do it on here. So do please sort of drop things in the chat, and if you're happy to come online and say it and unmute yourself, then that would be great as well, rather than just listening to me this evening. But what I really wanted to talk to you about tonight is how we can keep our business going, some online sort of tips. Now, most of you that know me well know that I personally am a very people's person, and I really like to be out with people, and I get a buzz out of building my business, being in people's company. So if I had a choice between online and offline, I'll always take offline. However, I am so grateful and relieved that not everyone in our team feels like that, because we've got a really, really strong online business, and at a time like this, that is obviously amazing. So this last sort of couple of weeks, I've had to really jump on my online knowledge in order to be able to sort of keep a pace of the situation we're on. So I'm sort of learning things as we go along, and some of you on this call are probably in front of me in your learning when it comes to online. So again, let's make this an interactive call, and anything that you're doing online and any success that you're getting, please, you know, as I'm talking, pop it into the chat and we can make this as interactive as we can. So what I wanted to do is sort of share some of the stuff that I've been doing this last week that has been really successful, and also recap some of the things we talked about in a call I did about 3 weeks ago, which actually was about how you could use some online to do or to replicate some of our offline business within Facebook events. So yes, we can get busy online. You know, Facebook ad campaigns, they're there, and many of you already have Facebook pages and campaigns going, and Andy is brilliant at that and has got loads of great training on that. And I'm sure as we carry on going through this, Andy will come on and do some more training on Facebook campaigns, I'm sure. You can create events on your page. You can boost your page with audience boosts, and you can also create events on your wall. And they're also in this last, I think 3 weeks ago, Andy did some great training on using Instagram. No, he didn't, LinkedIn. And also today, there was a great training on the Bloom group. If you haven't been on the Bloom group today, there was a lady called Katie Diffie, who's a gold, I think, in Dublin or Cork, Ireland anyway. And she did a great training on using Instagram. Instagram isn't something I've really got into yet, and she made it, put it across in such a way that I really, really want to go and start doing a bit more on that as well. So go over there and have a look. So I just really want to zoom in on events that I've been doing this week and been getting some sort of relatively good success from. So you may remember I spoke about this a few weeks ago, being able to create events in your own, on your own wall. And at the time I was suggesting that what you did is ask people to host an event for you, and you set up the event and then they become a co-host of yours. And we talked about that. Little did I know at that time how important it was that, or what an important tool that this is probably going to become for us. So, so this is what I've been doing this week, and I've held 2 or 3 events this way. So it's really easy to do if you haven't done it before. If you have done it before, let us know in the chat. Let us know some of your experiences with doing and creating an event online. So you just literally go into the event, you can choose a theme, you can upload a photograph, a video, just to get interest. You can put the location obviously online, and just a little bit of a description. So I've really been focusing on immune support. Now again, there's been lots flying around this last week about compliance. Some of you may have seen some of it. Of course, we have to be extra careful at the moment because all eyes are on us. And it's so frustrating. I know you probably all feel as frustrated as I feel about this, in that we have got products, you know, like those photographs that have just been shown, like the stories that we hear from our customers every single day. We've got products that the whole world need right now, and sadly we can't just go and scream it from the rooftop in a medical fashion. We can't say, you know, this thing that's going on, you know, we can't say even the word virus, let alone the word COVID-19. So, oh, I just said it. You're not all going to go and share this video while you're going out public. I trust you all. But we have to be careful. As I say, it's frustrating because we know we've got a toolbox that we can help people with, but there are ways that we can do it in a compliant fashion that we can still get our message out. So one of the things that we are able to say, you can, if you look on the pips that are on doterra.co.uk and you look on Guard, it does actually say on the pips. So that's the guideline really. If it's on the pips, you can say it out in the open, and it does actually talk about immune support on the On Guard pips. So in the description here, I've put something like, well, I have put, if you're interested in learning about how to naturally support your immune system using essential oils, join me virtually here, this, whatever it is, the date and the time. Okay, so that's what I've been doing. And I am going to share with you as we go on in this call some of the resources that I've then been using when people have then come onto the call to talk about the immune system. So let's just see, we've got some, yeah, so Kay, hi Kay. I don't know whether you would like to speak. If you do, just pop yourself off of mute. Kay says, hey Kay. Kay's been with doTERRA a long time. I bet you but you haven't probably, well, you know, I know you haven't seen anything like this before. But as you say, lots of vulnerable people can't get out. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing. Are you sending a lot more samples out at the moment then?
I can send more samples out because I can get down to the post office, but there are lots of doTERRA advocates that want to build the business that might be a little bit more vulnerable with respiratory problems or autoimmune.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah. So
you're asking a question. Sorry.
Yeah. So they can't actually get out to now give the samples that have been recommended to give out. So I was thinking, how else can we best manage that so that they can still continue with their business, but they can't necessarily give their samples out? And I wondered if anybody had any other experiences about that.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good question. I mean, I personally don't rely, and I know that probably I have got other people that share this on here, don't rely heavily on sampling. I do personally sample sort of after the event, but I'm not a heavy relier on sampling before the class, which I know goes against some people's training. But I think, you know, at the end of the day, we all do what works for us.
Exactly.
And in this particular case, even if that isn't your preference, it may be that, you know, for a time that is the way you're going to have to work if you can't get out and you haven't got anybody to help you post the samples.
Yeah, I think people that are so in the habit of sending out samples and now start saying, well, how can I do my business now that I can't get out and post anything?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, one of the things I've been heavy on top of, actually, this last week, I've had probably the busiest week I've ever had, not only with doing quite a lot of online stuff, I've also been doing quite a bit of community stuff as well. So we've got a food bank here for the village, and I've been helping with doing some actually some shopping runs and different things for the vulnerable in the village. So that's an idea that you know, if there is a sort of a task force, that at the end of the day it is actually quite a vital supply to get these things out, especially if people aren't very well. We want to get sample out. So, you know, if there is a group in the village that someone's going by the door, maybe they'll just pick up the samples for them if they put them on the door.
Yeah, we had one kind lady actually that filled in that form that was being circulated, which gave options that what I'm prepared to do for you, you know, pick things up, get your shopping.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do your post, that sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if I come across anybody, I'll mention that. Thank you.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you, Kim. Okay, so so then it's important, once you set up an event in your Facebook, on your Facebook wall, And I'm doing this personally, it's not on a page. So this isn't, and the reason I haven't done it on a page for these particular events is it's not part of an advertising campaign. This is actually just to my friend group. Of course, you can set up an event on your page and you can boost it. And I've done those as well. But this particular one that I'm talking about is actually on my wall. So, and then it's really, really important to keep the conversation going. So once you've opened the event and you've invited people into it, then you let them know that, you know, how to get onto the class. So you're excited to invite them to join the class. They need to accept, they need to click go in, and then you can put the link in to download Zoom and ask them to come back 15 minutes before the class with further instructions to join. The reason I do it that way is rather than give them the join-in link at that particular moment, they can get a bit confused. So I give them the link to download Zoom, and then just before, I then send them the link on how to actually join the class. And then I'm doing it by Zoom. Now I did try, as I say, it's been a week of like trying different things. I did try to do it by going live to Facebook. I think some of you probably saw Lisa Rooney do an experiment, or a little tutorial on putting Zoom to Facebook Live. And you can do that, but unless somebody can tell me different, what I was unable to do is see other people. So if you do it that way, you go into Zoom, there's a menu and you can go live to Facebook, and people can see you and there's chat, but you can't see them. And quite honestly, I would rather, especially in this environment where people are locked up, I think it's important to have that actual sort of people and their faces and the ability to chat to them when they come into the room, and etc. So I have still kept it all within Zoom. So I'm using Facebook as the place where people can be invited in and can get the Zoom link, and we can get a bit of excitement going for the actual event, but then I'm feeding them into Zoom to actually physically do the class. Okay. So then put the Zoom app details on with the meeting room just before I go live. So that's been something I've been doing this week. And then also I thought what it would be really good is, not only have I done that for some of my own personal events with people that are on my Facebook page, so my warm list, if you like, I thought it would also be a great way in which to launch new team members. So again, in a perfect world, what I'd always like to do is go out and be with the person for their launch, do a launch, they invite their warm market, and that we can be in the room together. Now, it's not always possible to do that, even in this current, even outside of this current situation, if people are in different countries and all over the county, although I have been known to go all over the place for them. But in this particular instance, there is no choice but to do it online. So this last week, I launched a new builder. She actually was introduced to the team in style last week, coming in and coming on to our millionaire and winning a prize. So I thought it'd be really nice. So it's Chrissy Wright. I thought it'd be really nice because it's really fresh in the mind of Chrissy. We've used this system to get her launched this week, to actually hear from Chrissy how we did it and how it worked for her. So are you there, Chrissy?
Hi, I'm here.
Hey.
Hiya.
So I've got some slides to sort of show how we did it. If you want to just go and sort of talk through them, that'd be great.
Okay, cool. Do you want me to give a little bit of background, or?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, I think it's been 9 months since we kind of started initially talking a little bit about me coming to doTERRA.
Yeah, at least once, yeah.
And obviously met Lisa through a previous network, and due to some major life changes and some health problems, I came to Lisa and get a bit of a cry for help really. I needed some products to try and help with my health, to which Lisa sampled me and I just got some really good results. So I actually moved to Spain from the UK in August, and decided I needed to make some massive changes. So it came, I think is it a week ago today? I think we came on the webinar like the day that I registered or something.
Oh yeah. So it was a week yesterday, yeah, because you were 12 a day in, weren't you, last Monday? Yeah.
Correct, yeah. So yeah, just came in, and to be honest with you, I've just kind of followed Lisa's guide, and obviously due to the situation that we're in at the moment, we're all it's all a bit up in the air as to how we can operate, but Lisa and I just have worked together and focused predominantly obviously with all the online, because I can't go out and see anyone. I'm limited to send samples because I'm in Spain and getting samples over to the UK, and the majority of the people that I know have been in the UK. So we've just really focused on trying to build, or not trying to, we are building online using Warm Market. So we thought we'd perhaps share with you a little bit about how we've done that. I think really what Lisa's shown me is the fact that the system that you guys have got in place is actually fantastic. The training and the on the members hub, just followed the day-to-day videos and watched them from day one all the way through. And then the Elise, sorry,
Yeah, Elise Shedderby.
Yeah, and just watching all of the content that she has available, taking lots of notes, and really just sat down and based on that just wrote my list. So I've got my little you'll probably see here all my little scribbles. This is half of the list. So just sat down probably for about an hour and got a list of like 110, some of which I haven't spoke to for like 20 years. So and then actually categorised them in exactly the same way that Elise explained, 1 to 7, stars by the names, 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s, 6s, 7s, and then just got on the phone. And I think the key thing really is that what I've learned from previous is when speaking to Warm Market, the best thing to do is there's no point in just creating an event and just sending out a blanket 100 invites, because you're not going to get any response. So I've literally just put my hair and my lippy on, sat in the front room and gone on live WhatsApp, so WhatsApp video or Messenger video. So everybody, because everybody's at home, they've got no excuse not to be available, right? I've just literally video called everyone. And I think the reason I've done that is because I felt that certainly from my point of view, I know when we're all sat at home, most people are bored, most people haven't got much to do, and most people are missing a bit of human interaction. So what I felt was a face on the end of the call would be much more beneficial than just a message or a voice call. So some people won't answer initially because they think, oh shit, I need to look good. And they run off and spruce themselves up and then call you back, or they message you, but it kind of leads into a conversation. So I've just worked through initially the higher numbered people, and literally just had a chat with people and said, how's the current situation affecting you? How are you? And what that's then done is led to a conversation where they're kind of saying, well, what are you up to? And I've just said, well, I feel very fortunate at the moment because the business that I'm in is selling essential oils, and because we're online, we are still able to trade, and also it's a really good industry to be in where we can help other people who want to try and maintain or sustain their immune systems during a really scary time. And that's kind of all I've really said. And then they have kind of asked me a little bit about what's that about? Or, oh, I love essential oils. I'm quite surprised actually, some of the closest friends that I've had and people I know, I didn't even know that they liked or used essential oils. So they're all like, oh, I quite like essential oils. So then I've said, oh, well, if you're bored tomorrow and you need to kill an hour, obviously I'm running an online class. So jump on and learn something that you might be able to share with your family and friends, and also something that might be able to help you feel more confident from a health perspective during a time of uncertainty. That's kind of all I've really said. And then what I've then done is just led them to the online event. So we created the event. Lisa created the first one. So Lisa set this up and invited me in as a host so that I could then obviously see the setup. And as you can see here, we kept it very simple. We just set a time. We put a very brief description of what we're going to do. And all I did was invite people into the group. Now, I didn't invite anyone to the group that I hadn't spoken to. When I say face-to-face, I mean current circumstance face-to-face, because it's kind of the best, closest possible that we can get to actually seeing people is actually speaking to them on a video call. So everybody that I spoke to face-to-face, I then added them in and just basically followed up with them. So I made sure that they'd received the invite, said, I'm going to send you an invite to the event that we're running tomorrow or whenever it was. I did say to them that what I would do is make sure that they were comfortable with setting up Zoom, because, you know, some people don't know what Zoom is. And then I said that I would be contacting them between an hour and half an hour prior to the event. I also had some friends that invited their friends. So I did say to them, look, if you know anyone who you think may benefit from having some education on protecting your immune system, or anybody who is in a position at the moment that might be high risk, that would enjoy learning some new information or some, you know, some bits and bobs on how to look after themselves and to protect themselves, and invite them in. So I did have friends invite friends as well. So that actually worked really well. So we organised the event. I think we've got a next slide, Lisa.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So basically what I did, once everybody was in and I'd invited a certain number, now I was quite conscious that I didn't want too many people in one class, because my plan, and Lisa and I discussed running a number of classes. So Lisa's going to do another one with me, and then I'm going to do another 3. So my plan is to do 5 classes over the next probably 5 to 10 days. Well, 5 in total. We've done 1, we've got 1 tomorrow. So Lisa set it up, and then I just interacted. So as you can probably see here, there's a little message that I just dropped in once people have accepted. And I did ask people to confirm their attendance, and it just says, looking forward to sharing info with you all tomorrow. Been thinking about our current climate and how we can all help ourselves to strengthen our immune systems. If you have any questions, I'm sure we can go through it tomorrow. So just kind of a little touch, not overwhelming people, and dropped a little picture in here. I just found this on Google Images, and I just kind of a bit of interaction. You probably see my comment says, let's fight back. I think there's a lot of negativity happening out there at the moment, and people are really welcoming positive energy and some positive vibes. So I thought, well, this, I think, kind of works really well, just supercharge your immune system. So we dropped in then, can't wait to see you all at 2. And then Lisa then put in the Zoom ID number. So I firstly checked that people have got Zoom, and then also dropped them in the ID number. So literally about half an hour before the event was due to start, I dropped everybody a private message. Now, I would really recommend, from personal experience, not doing a group blanket message, because it's really impersonal, and I absolutely can't stand it when people send me like a group message and you get everybody like binging away with all the comments, and then people leave and it's a bit negative. So I just literally had this, I just used this, again, excuse me if I'm being a bit fresh and newbie, but I used, I suppose back to basics, I used this, and I just filled in like all my names and then everybody that was on here, I aimed for the 20. We actually had, I think I spoke to 26 people, but the 26 people that I invited, I think we had 17 of them who said they would come, and then we had actually 12 on the event. So I think if we look at that in reality, I mean, it's quite a good conversion ratio, where you may sometimes, I mean, I've seen events where people invite 150 people and maybe 10 people attend. I would imagine the most realistic reason for that is because they haven't had a one-to-one conversation. It's quite likely that they've just been invited on a random invitation. So by messaging people personally and individually, it's you know, it's more personal and people more likely to attend. So that little bit of extra time, I just think has worked really well. I then just put a little GIF on. It was a nurse in a hospital going zoom, zoom, zoom. Just a bit of a funny, a bit of a gag, I suppose. Just said, don't forget to download your Zoom app. I'll remind you 30 minutes before. So not too much gone in there. And then again, I'll just be logging on in 25 minutes, starting at 2. These were GIFs, so they were interactive. So we ran the event. I'll tell you a little bit in a moment the results of the event, and Lisa's also going to go through with you the content. And the feedback that we had actually was like so positive. What we did is obviously focus very much on the product. We talked about the business and we talked about my situation, and I've got people who are in property who came through, who were actually very, very successful in their own right, and they came back and said that the way that it was presented was very professional, and they felt that it was just perfect for content, knowledge and delivery. So, you know, the slides themselves are absolutely perfect. And then after the event, I just dropped a quick message in to say, wow, what a great session. The reason I do this is because the people that weren't on the event will get this, from what I understand, as a notification. So those that didn't come onto the event will get a notification, and then they will then see all the people who enjoyed the event. So I was a bit, well, not naughty, but I did message a few of the people that are on that loved it and said, oh, can you do me a favour? Can you go on the group and can you like just give me the feedback? Because effectively what will happen is the people who either couldn't be asked or didn't, you know, prioritise it, couldn't make it, will see the positive comments and no doubt will be inspired to come on to the next one. So we just said comments below on how you felt today went. All those who couldn't make it, I'm running an event again on Tuesday at 2. So you'll see then we've had, you know, messages on there. So the interaction and the communication, I think, is paramount in anything, and it just speaks volumes for the way that the event, you know, has proceeded. So yeah, it's all good. Then the follow-up, as soon as we finished the event, I made it quite clear on the event that, right, you lot, I know some of you might want to talk to me personally. We can talk a little bit about anything that you have as or from an individual point of view. I will be calling you all back to follow up to see if there's anything more I can help you with, and we can see what we're working with. And at that point then I came off the phone and I just literally went through the list and just rang everybody individually. So I sold a home essentials kit. I've got, again, not registered yet, but I've got a business builder. So, and this individual has talked to me about sort of quite significant income figures. I've got a lady who does Botox who is currently struggling at the moment, and she's actually going to call me when we're finished tonight. She actually lives in Spain. I've got another lady who is just selecting some products that she wants to order. I've got a family member who's recommended me to a holistic therapist who has already got quite a significant business, but she can't work due to the current situation. And I've had a lady who lives in, well, prior to this, but because of my Facebook warm market, I've got a lady, she's actually one of the lead buyers for Yves Saint Laurent, who knows loads of people who loves essential oils. She's registering, I think possibly tomorrow. And I've got another lady as well who wants to register. So we've had 12 people on. We've had probably what would be like 300 and something pounds worth of sales, and 3 new consultants, or sorry, excuse me again, I'm advocates, thank you. And from that, then I've now got an event tomorrow, with probably a similar sort of number, and then I think I'm going to run another one on Saturday because some people are still working. So I'm on to about number 40 on my list, so I've still got the rest to go through, but I am meticulously, and I'm being really strict with myself on warm market, because it's free. I really want to be able to offer what we have to people that I love and care about, because I just think, you know, if we could help everybody protect themselves, and yeah, I mean, what more can we want from that? So I'm not sure if we've got any more. Is that our last slide?
Yeah, that's our last slide. Brilliant. If there's any questions for Chrissy, please pop them in the chat. I am going to talk about some of the materials. Thank you, Chrissy. That's absolutely brilliant. You've been an absolute dream to work with on this, and
Sure.
you're just a sponge and soaking everything up. And obviously, you've got some great experience that you've brought to the party too. So it's been, you know, absolutely amazing, and I know that you're going to go on and build a absolutely phenomenal business. So it's very, very exciting.
Thank you, Lisa.
What I wanted also sort of to say to the wider group, and I was chatting with Andy about this earlier, and how, you know, well this has gone, and obviously considering the situation that we're in, that all of you have this warm market, and I'm sure many of you have gone through your warm market in the past, but if you would like, while we're in this situation, to revisit that and do a similar thing, whether it be a sort of a restart launch, depending on where you're at, or just an ongoing opportunity to reach out to these people, because this is the perfect time. I think Kay just put that in the book. This is the perfect time to reach out to people. And so if you would like to do that, I'm happy to help and support you in the way that I did with Chrissy, and is happy to help and support you. So we could do it as a co-host. Obviously, if you prefer just to do it on your own, that's absolutely fine as well, depending on where you are in your doTERRA journey. But the key is that you follow those steps, do all that follow-up action, do all that preparation. And I think there is an opportunity really to do some great building activity, and also reach out to some people that probably in the past just haven't had the time to listen to what you have to say. So we're struggling on time to do too much on the slides. I'm happy to put these into our resources group, and you can download them, but I'm just going to talk about things that maybe you haven't seen before. So again, it's with sort of this whole thing around compliance in mind. I was sort of quite conscious that my slides haven't always been the most compliant that they could be, and I'm sure that everyone would put their hand up and say there's probably something in your slides that probably shouldn't be there. So I've been a little bit more conscious to at least try and make my slides as compliant. Doesn't mean that I'm saying that I'm always 100% there with what I'm saying, and if I haven't been, then I wouldn't obviously sort of share the video or anything like that. But I have been, I've sort of like had a little bit of a relook at my slides. And as I say, with a view to talking about the immune system. So you've all seen this before, like I talk about the oils being safe, effective and affordable. But when we go into the 3 ways of use, aromatic, topical, internal, I just picked up some graphics there to show what aromatic, topical and internal is all about. So the science behind the emotional, the topical, the different places in the body that you can apply the oils topically, and the different things you can do to apply them internally or to use them internally. I always talk about the safety chart in there. And then and there's loads of pictures like this. I just picked this up off of Google about the immune system. So just talk a little bit about the complex network of specialist cells that make up our immune system, the tissues and organs that recognize and defend the body from foreign substances, so that our immune system is everywhere. So I don't go into lots of science, but I'm just getting people to, you know, understand what the immune system is. The immune system is that defense mechanism that can be found in all these areas of our body. And then I've just put a little quote or a little saying there that we're as old or as young as our immune system, and talk about how, you know, we could be 60 and have a 40-year-old immune system, or we could be 40 and have a 60-year-old immune system. That's the thing that shows our age. And right at this time, how important that is. Then I talk about some general immune system boosting tips. These are all things that are being talked about very widely right now: staying active, watching our diet, staying on top of stress, drinking lots of water, getting enough sleep. And then I say adding quality supplements, which of course I'm then going to introduce the lifelong vitality later on. We do have to be careful again right now in like doing public posts and linking to research, but as all of this is going on in a private environment, I have added in here a slide just from PubMed. And really all I'm doing is encouraging people to do their own research. And last week there was a doctor on the news, Dr. Mark Porter, who works for the NHS. And he was talking about be careful and choose the people you listen to. And I thought this was a really good point, because there's lots of talk, isn't there, at the moment about people, you know, coming out with their snake oils and coming out with all sorts of theories about what can help at this present time. And so I think it makes us responsible and credible if we are pointing people in the direction of credible information. So that isn't it isn't to try and sell something that I'm pointing them in the direction of, say, PubMed, and saying, look, go and see PubMed, it tells you to buy thyme oil. That isn't the reason. It's about being credible, that essential oils are credible as a way to support healthcare. So I just sort of talk about, you know, them doing their own research, because we know when they do their own research, they're going to find out a lot of stuff that we can't actually say ourselves. And then I talk about inflammation and how we can't possibly have a good immune system if we've got, you know, chronic inflammation going on in our body. So because later on then when I talk about the oils and the word inflammation comes out, because you've educated around inflammation, then people are going to sort of listen more carefully. And then again, I found this quite interesting as a little graphic to use, with the symptoms that are quite prevalent often if you have got inflammation, chronic inflammation, not acute inflammation, because acute inflammation actually is your body defending itself. But when inflammation exists in a chronic way, where it's over trying to support the body in a overzealous way, and it comes into chronic inflammation, that these are the symptoms. And then the remedies, and again what it talks about in the remedies are things like, you know, zinc, vitamin D, probiotics, all things that you are going to introduce along with the whole doTERRA triangle. So again, very credible as a graphic. And then things that you've all seen before, the cells and how it works in the body. I always talk, because I'm sure you do, about the oil being the immune system of the plant, and I like to show people that, you know, how the plant and the human body has similar makeups in terms of the, you know, oxygen and when you put the carbon dioxide, when you put the oil that has been that immune system of the plant that's kept the plant alive, kept the plant healthy, when you put that into the human body, that it recognizes it as the same. So that's how I sort of try and simplify it for people to understand. And then we go on to the 10 oils. Oh, I did actually put in a little, this was a little graphic that I added in as well for immune boosting, some immune boosting blends and diffuser blends, just using the 10 oils. So it helps support the 10 oil message that you're going to give them at the end of the class. Don't know whether any of you have seen this app or used this app. Up until recently, I've been using the Droply app. I think this, I think it must be a new version, because the last time I looked at it, it wasn't anywhere near as good as this. This is the Essential Life app, and I paid $4.99 for the year for it, and it's amazing the amount of information it's got on it. So I'm now publicising and promoting that as the place to go. And then we've got the oils, which, yeah, and I'm particularly paying lots of attention to the On Guard at the moment. So I've put an extra On Guard slide in over and above the normal one, just to show people how they can make up their own products while we're in the situation of, you know, a lot of On Guard things being out of stock at the moment. And then we've got the 10 oils. So that sort of, oh, I put in, some of you may have seen this, the LLV. When we talk about LLV, I put in this little slide showing how much it would cost you to buy all the food for a month that LLV you would need to buy to get the nutrients that LLV produces. So I like that little slide. Yeah, I found it somewhere. It's in dollars, but hey ho, it's still, the message gets out loud and clear. DDR Prime I talk a little bit about, because we haven't got On Guard Plus at the moment, but DDR Prime has got so many amazing things in to help and support our immune system, so I'll bring that in. And then sort of go on to the business a little bit. So that just sort of gives you a quick whistle stop tour of the presentation I was using that Chrissy was talking about, and happy to help and support in any way. Let me have a look at some of the comments. Okay, yeah. Just a bit about compliance there. So I'm just going to get to my next slide. Any questions on any of that? Oh, they're making many slides. What we did do on the particular one that I did with Chrissy, we did do a few business slides at the end as well. So probably more than what I would generally do, but because we knew we got some people on there that were going to be particularly interested, I picked these slides up actually off of I've got a leader on the Platinum group, and she shared her slides. I thought they were quite nice, so quite simple in there. So there we go. And I thought, let's have a bit of fun. Why don't we make the next week Immune Support Awareness Week in our group book now? So this little defense emojo. So I thought, if again have little think about it, reach out to me, reach out to Andy, reach out to your uplines. There's many uplines on this call that themselves are more than capable of sort of supporting you in doing a co-hosted event. But just reach out to us. I think if, you know, and if we could just have, you know, get out there with a few of these events, we can make such a big difference to people that need us right now. I think that's the key. I mean, you'll make a big difference to yourself because you help your business continue, but more than anything, people need to know what we have available to them. You know, this is going to make such a big difference between people being able to care for themselves and their family in a natural way, and having something that can really help and support them. So we can do it, we can get that message out, we can stay compliant with that message by helping people understand the strength in the message, which is making sure people keep their immune system strong. This is going to be really, really important. So, Andy, people seem quiet in the chat.
Well, what do you want me to do about that?
Come and talk to me.
Are you talking to me or talking to people in the chat?
Anybody, come and talk to me.
As far as
are you all stunned, or are you all still there?
Probably thinking about it. That's
Oh, it was great. Good. Thank you, Vicky.
But certainly, you know, we can always have a chat. And are you going to put the slides in the group?
Yeah, I can put them. What I'll do, because there's some pretty big files, I will put them in, unless you know of a better way of doing it, Andy. You probably do. I was going to say I'll put them in the TVE download site, but just because that seems.
Your files are normally about 3 gigabytes or something like that.
Yeah, well, we'll either do that or a link to the site or something. We'll find a way of getting them to people anyway.
You can reduce them down or whatever. Yeah, I mean, if they're in the group, you can upload them. If you've got them in there, I think it's about 25 megabyte upload, so it's quite a lot of room. So you can normally just upload it if you've got it in a presentation. All you've got to do is upload it as a document within the group, and it's done. So
I'm being told, Jason said he was quiet because he was taking copious notes. First time I've ever known you to be quiet, Jason. Yes, so a question that I've got on there, Andy, is can we have a recording of the class to watch? No,
of course you can.
Yes, you can. I'm just one word of caution, because I was asked by some people that were at the class if they could have a recording, and I said no. And the reason I said no was just because this extra alert that we have around compliance. So I certainly think, obviously for us, for you to have it to watch and see how it all works, I haven't got a problem with that. We just need to be really careful where it goes. Let's not, you know, go putting it on a public group somewhere, because we just don't want to expose ourselves to that. Do you understand what I mean?
You're not talking about recording of this webinar, you're talking about a recording of
a class
itself.
Exactly, yes, that was the question that was asked. Could they have a recording of the class?
Yeah. So are you going to do that on one of your next ones that you do live?
I've got recordings of the the last one. You can have a recording of it. It's just, I'm just sort of like saying, keep it to yourself and don't share it. So we'll find a way of getting that to you.
Fair enough.
What else? Just seeing if there's anything else anybody wants to know. Great ideas. Yeah.
Are we done?
I think we're there.
Excellent. So I'll just stop sharing. There we go. So we're done for this evening. So thank you for joining us, everybody. Next week, of course, we won't be back. We give you a week off at least once a month, just the kind of people we are. But also it times, or it coincides, of course, when Nathan and Rebecca do their monthly training and all the recognition for March as well. So that's bound to be great as well. So do make sure that you join us, or not join us, but join them at silverblossomwebinar.com. That's next Monday at 8:30, same time. So that's pretty much it. Well, that's it. So thank you for joining us, everybody, and have a fantastic week.
Oh, Andy,
Okay.
Jason's just asking you, can you show the slide for the oil classes again? I don't even know whether you've showed that tonight, did you?
Let me just get that.
Did you show it?
Just share that quickly. Bear with me. There we go.
These are your classes that you've got this week.
Yeah, well, these are open for everybody within the group, of course. So, right, here we go. Bear with me. Why is it going slow when I don't want it to? There we go.
There you go.
So, Tuesday 31st of March, 7 p.m. Thursday the 2nd of April at 11 a.m. and Saturday 4th of April at midday. So we put these on, you know, it's obviously what we're talking about this evening. Certainly what Lisa's been talking about is a brilliant, brilliant addition, but we do these every week. So if you get people that are interested, they want to come on and find out more about the oils, get a presentation, hopefully done in a professional way for you, and then obviously we send them back to you at the end of the presentation so that you can follow up with them. Okay, so I don't know, there's another question there or something being said. Oh, there we go. Okay, so if that's everything, we'll see you in 2 weeks' time, and have a fantastic week, everybody.
Thanks, Andy, and thanks, Chrissy, for participating. So brilliant. Thanks, everyone.
Good night, everyone.